Hello everyone, so I've got the April 2025 card kit of the month from Simon Says Stamp to open today and get a first look. We have lots of things in here. Let's pull that out. This right here was like a bonus gift, I think I saw. So, ooh, they're really cute, and they might work with the stuff inside, I don't know yet. And we've got some texture paste here in Sparkle Distress Textures. I can't say that. Texture paste. And then the stamp set. Let me pull out this stuff. Got it all. Got a runaway lollipop there. And I've got tropical fruit, little lolly. And then maybe we'll zoom in for some of the stuff, but let's have a look at the butterfly. Okay, I might be a little bit predictable. Butterfly blossoms. So I was like, okay, yes, I want this kit. And then we have a little container of collage medium. It was recently we got this larger one, but look at this one. It's great for travel, and also I might put this one in a drawer and keep this one right handy on the desk. Nice little one. This is 0.5 ounces. We have a whole set of 6 washi tapes. I will look at that in a moment. Coupon, an envelope with adhesive back. It's nice craft colored. And the markings you might notice on the stamp set. One, I like the sentiments. I use these ones a lot, and I sell my cards at a craft fair in the fall. So I liked that. I thought I added the, what do you call it? The dies, but I don't see them here. So I don't know. Did I do it wrong again? I'm going to have to look into that. So anyway, I was trying to say the letters and the numbers, there's a coordinating stencil here. And I was intrigued by this. It might be a little bit fussy. I don't like to do anything too fussy, but I wanted to try it. Ooh, look at that little color. So we'll see. I may or may not like it, but this is something I haven't tried before, and I have plenty of ink, and I have brushes. Look at this. It's got like, I don't know what these, can you see that? There's some etched lines here. Maybe, I don't really know what the point of that is, but yeah, so you can see the different, I guess just telling you which one's which. B1, B3, and so then they go over. So B1, you can just color that in with a blender. So I'm excited to try that, and I think I might do that in some cards. So we got the stamp set, we got the stencil, we've got inspiration here. We'll have just a look. I'm gonna let you guys look, and I'm not gonna look too closely at it because I want to make some cards. This is a beautiful card stock. What's this one called? Honey. This is the color Honey in 100 pound, and then we have the Mina Solar White, I believe. Yes, which make great card bases, nice and sturdy. And look at that. Actually, the freebie goes quite well, so these might show up on the cards as well. We have some Tim Holtz Ideology, 30 pieces of collage paper. You can kind of see all of them there, and they're going to be translucent. Or even transparent, maybe. Let's see. So you can put them on and you can see how you can see the pattern below. But let's have a look at a few of these. They're really beautiful. This one's a nice background one. And I think there's 2 of each. Ooh, look at this guy. He's pretty. This one's really subtle. Look at that. And I think that, did we see this one already? No, look at that. I like the script one. I'm not sure if I showed them all. Is this back at the beginning? I don't know. But now I'm making a big mess, so I'm going to move it. Right now at these, look at this. Oh, it's so picturesque. And if you're anything like me, you're like, well. That's 6x6, but it doesn't mean, you know, what this is an A2, standard A2 size card. So if you were to imagine the card front, that would be, look at that, that's really beautiful. And then I'll just have this here in case we want to look at that. And the other side was stripe. That's sometimes the hardest part. These are a paper rose, bees and butterflies printed paper. That was another thing I liked about this kit because I've used paper rose. It's super high quality, feels silky, beautiful colors. I've liked their paper before. Look at that beautiful pattern. And so I thought, and I liked these patterns as well. I think I might do a card using these, maybe. And they're just nice little cut aparts. This side is a lovely pattern. Love this one here with the little butterflies. Ooh, I love this side too. I feel like that would be a nice panel. So that is the hard part with only one of each, is deciding what you're going to do with it. This side is kind of a neutral with the butterflies. And then this actually looks pretty nice, popping out on the card there. And finally, we have this one. And I was kind of, this one's vertical, but if it was this way, you could have a nice start of a card like that as well. Now, do I need more washi tape? No. But these were just really beautiful, and I thought I can use that. It's almost, well, almost a rainbow of colors, but you know the one that really sold it for me? It's this red one. Because, oh my goodness, look at these strawberries. I just love them. I like that kind of picnicky. We got a butterfly and then these beautiful flowers. So I'm definitely going to want to do a card with this washi. And it's always good to remember different ways to use washi. So I think that makes a great, you know, video idea also. Look at all those. Should I try to... Boop, let's put that out there. And the orange. Okay, so I can't get the camera any closer, but look at this lovely red, orange, yellow. I love the lemon there. This one has a little bit of green, so I put it in the green, but it could be a neutral too. You don't have a complete rainbow. This is very much a pink, not a purple, and there's no blue, but I kind of tried to do rainbow order here. And then this one's a real shabby chic light pink. And I really like all of these washi, so I'm excited to try to do some cards with that. I hope you enjoyed seeing this box opening. Now let's make some. All right, for card number 1, we're starting with a white card base from the Nina Solar White. I did a top fold here, and this is a scrap I had. It's a little bedraggled. It's been in a drawer, but most of it's going to get covered up. It's gold mirror cardstock that I've put down, and this scrap measures just a smidgen over 4 by 5, a little bit over 5 1/4, just a little over. And this was a cut from a die that I had just left in there. And then for the paper, look at these beautiful butterflies. I just liked how this looked as a focal point. The other side is this lovely pattern, which I love also. So we're going to put that down here and try to center it. Okay, let me see. And so you can see that though my scrap is a little worse for the wear, most of that scratchiness is covered up. Still, you can kind of see it on the edges, but I'm okay with that because I want to use what I have here. And then we have just a little bit of shimmer on the edge, not too much, and it really makes this pop, I guess. And it's kind of, the butterflies are all over, so you could have it this way also. Let's see how we do with this orientation. Now I've taken the stamp set, and for this card I'm doing a birthday card because I think it looks great with that. I have another scrap of gold, and then I used some Versamark embossing, Versamark ink rather, and gold embossing powder. And this gold embossing powder, would you believe it's like 20 years old? well, 15 or so. It still works, so I love it. And it is just in this little container here. I don't have much left, you can see, but I'm still using it. And boy, I hope they make things as good as they did back then, because I really like this one. And it matches perfectly. So, scrap of white cardstock that I've stamped on, and then a scrap of gold. And I did have to fussy cut, because if you watched the unboxing earlier, I have managed to not do the add-on process correctly, and I haven't heard back yet. I probably will hear back today what we can do about that. Oh. Now these lovely little dimensional squares came from a previous Simon Says stamp box, and you can see here there's some other tape and stuff on here, because yes, this was a scrap from my stash being reclaimed for this card, and I think that's relatively centered, so I'm going to put it there. Now this could be done just like that. We've got a little dimension, a little bit of shine. I think there's enough interest. However, I have another scrap of gold here, and I do have a little butterfly punch. I thought about maybe doing, so this was another idea. There is a nice small butterfly, and I thought about stamping and fussy cutting, yes, until I get my matching or coordinating die set out the butterflies, but for the sake of ease, they punch one out. And this guy is super cute. And I have it, so it's 0.375 inches is what it says there. And it's a little bit difficult to use sometimes, but here's what we get. Is a handful of beautiful gold butterflies. And sometimes if you have a scrap, like you're like, oh, I love this paper, or if you just want to use every little bit, you can take small punches like this and just punch them out and save them for future use. These are great little bling items. Another way you could dress up this card would be using, this was the freebie in the box, so some of these, but on this card I chose to do the little butterflies, so I want to get them out of here. Okay, so I think something like this arrangement will be pleasing, and it adds a little more. If I just do a tiny dot, I can kind of fold up the wings, but just a little more texture, a little more bling, just a little something extra in the corner of this card. Some of these they're scraps, so some of them already have adhesive on the back, but for the ones that do not, I'm going to use a little glue. So this one has enough adhesive. I'm just going to use that. All right, and that is card number 1. We'll have a nice close-up look here at the bottom corner. On to card number 2. So for card number 2, I have a second card base. This one's top folding, and I had to use some paper from my stash because you get 2 cards out of the one that comes in the kit. And then there is this paper here, and you can't really see the other side, but you can check back in the unboxing to see that because I'm using this side. I've cut it down, and as you can see, I have added some fun foam on the back for some dimension, just to pop it up. So I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to need some glue because my fun foam is adhesive backed, but I used the adhesive on this side. Okay, so before you glue that on, I almost had a problem here. Because I put it on, you can see the glue marks. But before you glue that on, you're gonna want to prepare the next step, which is grabbing some vellum or tissue paper, anything that's kind of translucent from your stash. And I have taken the stamp set and stamped out thank you for everything. I used the VersaFine Clair ink that we got in a previous kit. Now this is a pigment ink, so it just doesn't really ever dry on the vellum. I can show you what I mean here. Look, this has been sitting for a day at least, and it's not dry. But in order to still use it, you can emboss with it because it's pigment ink. So I just used some clear embossing powder and heat set that. And we'll show you what I got here, but also I've added some little gold accent and with this piece of sticker from my stash, and this is how it looks. So I did get a little smudge. I can try to get that off. I don't know what that is, but mostly it looks pretty good. And at this point, again, before I glue this down, I might need to add a little more wet glue. But I want to place this because that way I don't have any glue marks and I can hide the back of the vellum behind there. So while this is still wet, I want to place it, and you want this to be completely dry, so already set with the embossing powder, and press that on. I want to get it pretty flat, so maybe I'm going to do this and see if that works. Nice hard surface to press it onto. Looks pretty solid, and then I'm going to add some more glue. And now, that's much better that I have everything in the proper order. I'm pretty much guaranteed to forget things, especially even when I plan it out. So now my acrylic block can sit on top of here and make it all glue together. Look at how cute that is. Now you could totally stop there and be done. But we do have, if you got the kit this month, we got these cute little epoxy coated sticker embellishments, so I thought I'd throw a couple on here as just a little extra accent. So I'm gonna move this up, even though it hasn't had enough time to dry really, and we're gonna grab a few. Let's take a heart, and this is the green polka dot heart there. Press it down there. And then two of the tiny hearts. We have this little, nope, it doesn't want to, let me grab the other one first. I had to call for reinforcement. I'm going to actually try to put it right here to cover up my ink that's not looking great. And then this, so that's the pale yellow one there. And then I have the polka dot that is kind of more of a marigold color. I'm gonna have them just hanging out. I think that looks about right. Give it a good press. Tweezers, so helpful. And then you can have a close-up look at card number 2. We'll get in a little closer. See the little stickers. And you could totally use like a gold pin here if you didn't have this, or a line of glue and glitter. There's a bunch of different ways, but I happen to have these little thin line stickers, or even a tiny strip of gold paper. Lots of ways to get the same look. Oh, foiling. I don't have that stuff, but that would be another way to do it. So that is card number 2. For card number 3, we're going to start again with a side folded card base, and then this honey colored cardstock that came in the kit, this one. This is cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, and so that way I can get the little white border there. And then there was a piece of paper that had lovely cut parts. It's this beautiful pattern on the other side if you're interested. So you can cut these down and use them in a variety of ways in your card. So I've chosen these two for the card, and I've put them on to just a slightly larger piece of white cardstock scrap. And I want to stagger them. This is a favorite focal point idea for a card like this. And so I'm going to put this one kind of on the right, and then the one that I have used this foam on is going to be on the left. So I need a little adhesive here. Sort of the top half of the card here, angled. I'm going to get a little closer to the edge here. Angles can be tricky, but they're also quite freeing because there is no perfect. You know, you can be off and it doesn't look too bad. So then this one's already got the foam. Let's take all that off. And then we want balance from right and left, so about the same distance. Maybe I'll scoot it in a little, and then we want it to be touching to make these two together. They're one together now. And I think that looks about right. Now, what is happening down here? There's a lot of open space. So again, I'm going to want that balance. And that's where we're gonna bring in some of the fabulous washi that we got, and another scrap of white, and do some banners down here. So I think I'll have a nice white one to anchor it, and I've taken the yellow washi and the kind of white and green washi, because I thought that went well with these colors, and just put them on a scrap of white cardstock. There we go, that's better. This is how it looks. And I cut some tails in it, and these are going to be my little focal point. Like, they're like pattern paper now. So let's add some, oh, I didn't put this down. Maybe I should put this one down first. I used a little combo of tape runner and wet glue at the tails. And then I will just trim off the overhang when I'm done here. So there's that one, and then this one I think should go down here, a little shorter than this one. Just gonna use wet glue for that. Oop, I wanna go all the way, I think I'll go all the way to the edge here. I could have made it longer and made it go all the way off, but I didn't. I think that blends in with the card edge anyway though. And then this one I'm going to want to be somewhere in between both of these. Maybe a little shorter. And since that one is not overhanging the edge, I think I want to repeat that here and just trim this off. And you can see, let me just show you this real quick. On this side, when I just wrapped the extra over the edge, pretty easy there. That way you don't have edges coming up. And then I trimmed it. And so this one, I'm gonna overhang and make it meet up with the edge of the not marigold, honey. The honey paper. I want to call it marigold because that's what I called the sticker earlier, but they named it honey. So now I can trim off this excess. Let me grab a pair of longer scissors for that. And again, this could be done just like this. It's a bit plain. Oh, and the sentiment here is you are a ray of light. But we have these stickers, which have some little teeny tiny sentiments as well. So I thought I'd go with that, and I have on some little piece of tissue or parchment here, the one that says, love you, because you are a ray of light. I thought that went pretty well. And then there's kind of a taupe colored beige, and then what I was calling marigold. And these are the larger heart. So I'm just going to put them kind of right down here, equidistant, and right there in the middle, and hopefully I did add a little glue there. I didn't even realize that. They have adhesive, but I guess I felt like I should add a little. Before I press that down, I am going to have a little bit of time to figure out if I want to change their angle. I think I want this one a little lower. I like that. It's just not too even, and because I put glue in there. There. Get that up. Alright, now that is card number 3 all done, and you can have a look at it as a whole here. And how about a little close-up of this bottom part that we just did. I love the washi. It's so pretty. Alright, for card number 4, this is the other top folding card base that I made from the cardstock that came with the kit. And then I have this piece of pattern paper, which if you want to see the other side, you'll have to look back in the unboxing. And I just have a scant, what is this, 1/8 of an inch border. So I've cut this to, I believe it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, something like that. no, 5 1/4, yeah, 5 3/8. And this my starting point. Oh, this was just such a beautiful, beautiful pattern paper. I love that paper rose pattern paper. So we're gonna stamp right on the card. So I am gonna zoom out, bring in a stamping platform positioner. I have just got this sticky mat that Simon Says Stamp sells, and I'm using that in here because I just don't have a lot of success with the magnets and things actually staying in place. But this is pretty grippy and it's been working pretty well for me. The stamp set for this card, I thought I'd try Missing You. So I want to place this sentiment somewhere in this little opening. I want to put some extra things around, so I am trying to be mindful of that. But I think this is pretty good right here. So let's grab it. And see that? No movement. Love it. Okay. This is not an advertisement for the sticky mat, but I'm liking it. Again, I'm using this lovely ink that we got in a recent box. And let's see how we get the impression here. Da-dum-dum. Ooh, looks pretty nice. There's a little bit I could just add there, so I have to say one thing I don't like about the VersaFine Clair is like when I put the lid on so that I don't get messy, but oh my goodness, getting the lid off is so difficult sometimes that I get messy. There's some irony there. Alright, I'm happy with that, and I can just grab my card and it comes off. And you see my little guardrails here? Oh no, looking under the veil. I have a bad habit of getting out of frame, so I just used some poster putty to be like, don't go past here. So you get to see that. Okay, now, stamp set again. And again, I'm missing the fact that I don't have the dies yet. I'm hoping to resolve that. We have B3 here that I'm going to use, and then the little B4 butterfly. And for this card, I got to try the Stencil, which for card 5, we might take a look at that. I'll show you how it works with a different example, but here's B4, and then I will just show you how I've done these, because also I used the texture paste, and let me just say, I have never used these kind of stencils before, but I'm really liking it. So that's a happy thing that has come out of this kit, because I don't think I would have bought them because I didn't know if it was too fussy for me. So far I'm really liking it. So I used on these cards. I also stamped out this one, but I didn't end up using it for this card. And I used kind of a combination of, maybe not the, I don't know if I used the carved pumpkin on this one, but I used squeezed lemon, fossilized amber, and wild honey with a little brush. What do you call that? You know what I'm talking about, right? And here is how they look. I just inked them on, and then I just took a little palette knife and swiped on some of this texture paste and set them aside to dry, excuse me. I don't know what I'm saying today. And yeah, for a while, they're a little tacky. They're even just slightly tacky now, which it's been a day. But yeah, you definitely want to let it dry, but there's just a little bit of glitter. Can you see that? I don't know how much I'll use the texture paste, but I used it on this card. And yeah, so this one's a maybe liking. I don't know, I can live without it. But I'm really liking the stencils. And as you can see, I used a little bit of foam on this butterfly. So I thought this one could live over here. And I do love to have a variety of dimension in the cards I make. It does make them harder to mail, but I just like the added interest. And you can see, this is why I wanted to pay extra for the coordinating die on this set because I'm not good at fussy cutting. Okay, that's not horrible, but it's not great either. So for the other two small butterflies, I'm just gonna put a dot of glue up here, down here, and put them on that way. This guy has a little more color. I think I used, you know, a little more of the fossilized amber or wild honey. And I want to turn, he's going that way, this one's going this way, and this one has more of the squeezed lemonade, so it's slightly lighter in shade or tint or whatever. And that one's gonna go this way too. Maybe I'll make him just a little, and that could be done like that again. If we want to pull in the epoxy stickers, let's do that. And to grab my friend the tweezers to help, and I have the pale yellow tiny heart. I even have trouble with the tweezers with these tiny ones, but they do add such a lovely little bit of extra bling to the card. So I've got a little pale yellow heart and then a little green heart that has polka dots. Super cute. Offset them. That's the way I like it. And they're just kind of coming out, just a little sprinkling hanging out there, and then down in the bottom, you're not even, it's kind of hard to see this, so really it's preference if you want to do this extra step. But I thought I'd throw a few of these little circle ones down here in the bottom. So I've got the pale yellow again, and what I'm calling marigold, or maybe we should call it honey because it matches the paper so well. And in the middle I have a green and white stripe. And that finishes off card number 4. And this is the full card here, and we'll come in close at the details. Beautiful little sparkle and dimension on that large butterfly. Got some hearts there. Oop, it's having trouble focusing. And then down here, you can't quite tell, but there's a little trio of epoxy stickers. Well, I almost forgot to show you about the stencil. So here I have F2, the image, and I've lined it up with the stencil and just put a little washi down so that I can color it. Got a couple variety of brushes here. And this one has so many different little flowers. I think I'm just gonna go with like a monochromatic color scheme because then, you know, you can't go too wrong on that. So I've got a little finger brush dedicated to the kind of yellow zone. There, I do have another yellow one. Maybe I'll start light and go dark. I need my finger for that. So I've got some squeezed lemonade, and I start off on the stencil. I'm having a really hard time talking today. And I'm gonna go in and just give everybody a little bit of yellow. Maybe not that one. Maybe that one can be more yellow. And I think those could be green. Also, if you want to keep an area, say I don't want yellow on there, I think I want that to be green. I am gonna mask it off with a little bit of scrap washi. I think I'm gonna do the same for that tiny leaf there. Now I'm gonna go in with my next darkest color, the fossilized amber. And, ooh, I think these little guys should be all that color. And then maybe just a little in the top here. And then right in the center of these two. And again, wild honey is a little bit shade darker. I'm going to use the same one. I can't close that. Raw. Get that on there. Maybe I'll just get these guys a little darker. This one, whoops, I'm gonna tone that down with some yellow. Then right in the middle, maybe I want to go all over. I think that I'm going to go back to fossilized amber and blend this out. And for my orangey tone, a little in there, and I kind of wanted this. This looks like a lavender stem, but you know what? If I'm coloring it, I can do whatever I want, right? So that one's going to be a bright orange, and we're going to come in. Actually, I think I'll come in with some squeezed lemonade and just kind of brighten things up here and there. Okay. Before I take that off, actually before I do anything, I want to kind of clean it off so that I don't have color transfer. I'll clean it better in a bit, but now I'm going to unmask my areas where I want green, and I have peeled paint, which is a nice color. And I'm going to come in, oops, I need to mask off. That leaf is way too close to these guys, and I have this nice orange color, which I don't want to be muddied by my green. So if you want to do different colors, yeah, blocking it off is a good idea. But it's not that difficult. Look, that took me not very long. Wipe it off, and let's have the big reveal. Actually, let's not, but let's just show you what it looks like real quick. Now, if you have a stamping positioner, you can re-ink some of this, or you could go in with a fine liner to make it blacker, because my oxide ink kind of milks it up a bit. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm going in with a damp paper towel to clean up a little more of this excess ink. And then I thought it would be a good opportunity to demonstrate the texture paste. I know if you're wondering why there's all this, what is this called, cling wrap on there, it's because I have just a bad track record of having things dry out on me when I'm not paying attention. So I've got a little silicone applicator here. Now these inks are going to react with wetness, as in they'll smear and stuff. So you don't want to be rubbing it back and forth. Ask me how I know that, huh? Yes, because I've had things spread. And I'm just going to do a thin layer over top. You see that right there? Can you see that color transfer? It's okay for a little bit, but be aware of that. I think I've got it pretty well covered, and I didn't even dip into this. I just used what was on my lid. And I'm going to put that back and then put my plastic wrap back over. But first, we'll take this off. Now I can take it off. And obviously this is not dry yet, but you can see how easy it is to do that little layer of color. Now another fun thing with these stencils might be to do some other, like, maybe, I didn't even think about this, adding some color into the texture paste. That's something to try. Like on a mat and mix it with the ink and then swipe, you've got color and sparkle at the same time. I feel like that should work pretty well. So that's how the stencil works, if you didn't know, or if you just wanted to see how I did it. Card number 4, I've pulled in some more cardstock from my stash for the card base, And we have this beautiful lattice pattern. Oh, I just love how the yellows and golden colors go. You really did a good job. I mean, it's a plain neutral, and yet it's stunning by itself, isn't it? Thank you, Paper Rose, for making beautiful papers for us to play with. Now, for this card, I have used another happy birthday sentiment. I've got a scrap of white that I just stamped it on and cut some wide tails. And that's going to go down here. However, I had some fun with the flowers on this stamp set, and boy, you know, I'm so glad that they gave us this stencil with it to try, because I really have enjoyed it. I said that earlier, but so I colored two different versions. That's where I haven't made a decision yet. On this one, I've gone with a more coordinating color palette here. It's gonna slip behind there. So it's just the only thing that really stands out is even the green. But, you know, I really liked these pretty blue colors in the epoxy sheet, epoxy sticker sheet. And so it kind of inspired me to try a different color palette, which is this one right here. And I just, I'm torn. So let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. Now, if I went with this color palette, I would go with, got them sitting here on a scrap of acetate. So if I go with this color scheme, I would put these guys down here to coordinate with the blues. What do you think? This is look 1. Put your vote in the comments below if you like 1 or 2 better. That's 1. 2 is just a little more monochromatic. And for this card, I think I have to make a choice before you guys get a chance to pipe in. So I think I'm going to go with this one. But I can make a second card. I just don't have this paper. I find something similar and be able to make that too. I need to put some glue on this guy because it needs to go behind it, which I'm pretty much known for forgetting that and having to pull things up. It's like, for some reason, a natural inclination. So I think that's about right. Centered. And then I can stick my banner. Maybe I want it just a little bit higher. And that goes down there. Got some adhesive there. Fix that later. And then also from the epoxy sticker pack, I found, I think there was just one of this guy, this little moth. Let me show you up close. Isn't he cute? And he has the perfect little color scheme there. I thought he just has to go right there. I think that might be why I went with the more monochromatic color scheme this time around, because of this little moth. But those epoxy stickers really inspired me to do this color scheme as well, and we will find a way to use that, just not in this video. And then I'm going to put these 3 right here just as a little accent and to balance out this side of the card. Where are my tweezers? Need help. Which, I don't even think I need the glue. I don't know why I put glue down there, but maybe the glue helps me figure out where to put this. But the wiggle room also makes it wiggle, which you may not like either. Just going to pick up a little bit of that extra adhesive seeping out. And that is it. Card number 5, all done. 2 different ways to color, but I think I like this color scheme. Let's bring them all back in to have a quick look before we say goodbye for today. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. It really makes a difference when you hit the like button and share and comment and interact with my video for that YouTube algorithm. And again, as always, I hope you have a wonderful and creative day. Bye!